How safe is your home? How important are security systems? How effective are they? And will they really help ward off against home invasions? My name is Blake Ensign, and I'm with Blaze Communications LLC, and I've been spending a little bit of time in my personal life looking at the variety of security products that are out there, from digital cameras to video cameras to security type systems that are offered out there, as well as just simple things of infrared and triggered alarms, etc. My question to you is, how do you feel about home invasion, especially if it happens through a locked door? And when it happens through a locked door, how does that make you feel? You have to start considering who has a key to your home, and then you have to start considering how secure are the locks that were being sold by manufacturers. And then we're starting to worry about, well, who thinks that they have the right to come into our home? Because the reality is, the things in our home are the people that we love, the property that we've invested in with hard earned dollars, and the documentation that gives us and creates for us the lives that we have and the permissions that we get, as well as the responsibilities and legalities of our lives. So, in that regard, how do you feel when something like this happens to you, where your property is going missing on a regular basis and sometimes overnight? Um, in my situation, just as a quick note, I've experienced a little bit of that over the last year, and that's been very difficult to manage. And then, who do you call for help when you're trying to figure out who it is? Most of us would consider, okay, who has a key? Second, we might consider, did a stranger come by? But if it's a repeat situation, then we start to worry about hazing and harassment. And then the reality is that, well, who do we report it to? Do we report it to the community complex or property management companies that we are participating in? And then how do they handle the response? And do we report it to local authorities? But what are the suggestions and advice that they tend to give us? So a great resource for that is to go to the Indianapolis Police Department website, and they have a wonderful PDF file about how to try and protect your home. At the same time, we might reach out to a state trooper that we might know and ask him or her what their recommendations are. And in my particular case, I reached out and I was told, get a camera, try and get evidence, help us to, prove what's going on. Well, in my case, I've learned that, the camera that I have is wonderful for a lot of things, but once a thief realizes you have a camera that are so blatantly obvious to people, they might just take the cartridges from you. So that wasn't necessarily the greatest advice, but it it definitely, has its possibilities. Probably the most humbling situation is the reality of when things happen to you overnight. And everything has been locked down. You're really starting to wonder, how is that possible? In my case, legal documentation had gone missing out of my home for many months now, and last night, even something that I had seen the night before, completely gone. So that's about me. But what about you? Have you looked at some of your old storage bins of late? Have you looked into through your documentation in your office files? Have you double checked to make sure that no one's coming in and taking away from you important things that help to make you you within the community, within your business, within your job, within your personal life, within your medical records, within your tax documentation? Have you really taken the time every once in a while? And do you do so on a regular basis to just double check that things are not going missing that you might not be thinking about right now? So, these are my thoughts for this morning, and I would appreciate any feedback you have, or any suggestions you have, or any thoughts and ideas about what you think of this news, the way that we need to live today, which is with all kinds of security systems and camera systems and being kind of that person of interest, if you will, in our own homes, and how you feel about it, especially if you have little ones at home or if you live alone. What would you feel if those things were happening to you? And what would you do about it? This is Blake Ensign with Blaze Communications LLC, a man who markets ideas, people, products, and services.